I'm about to play for you one of the worst, most elitist, and just outright unnecessary segments of Fox News I think I've ever seen in my lifetime. Take a look at this video.
I'm not an economic professor. If you get $800 a week unemployment benefits, and you live with a partner who also is getting $800 a week unemployment benefits, $1,600 a week, Laura, $83,000 a year for that household in unemployment benefits. The median income in America is only $63,000. We're incentivizing people to stay home. What if we gave that additional unemployment benefits to employers to incentivize people to go to work?
Well, what if we just cut off the unemployment? I mean, hunger is a pretty powerful thing. I don't mean physical hunger, because people who truly are in need help. I'm talking about people who can work but refuse to work. But the government is literally putting anvils in many ways on people's shoulders, either through the mandates, regulations, and now through free money, which obviously we're all going to, the piper eventually has to be paid. John, I want to ask you, though, about this idea of work-life balance, because look, no one wants to miss their kids growing up. No one wants to. You stay in the office your whole life. You never see your family. So that's really important. However, have we taken that a step too far when you think of, well, a lot of the millennials talking about, well, I need time for self-care. I don't know why I'm harping on that tonight, but the whole self-care movement is a little, I mean, my mother's not with us anymore, but she worked by the time she was 12 during the Depression. If she heard the self-care thing, I think her head would explode.
I think that's right. I have a friend in the military who trains military dogs, Laura, and they only feed a military dog at night because a hungry dog is an obedient dog. Well, if we're not causing people to be hungry to work, then we're providing them with all the meals they need sitting at home. I'm completely with you, Laura. These benefits make absolutely no sense to us. And on top of the impact of not getting employees and not being able to run our businesses, in my industry, we have meat prices are up 10%, chicken prices are up 15%.
No, inflation is going to kill business. I mean, that's the next shoe to drop. The Democrats.
Wow. So that was John Taffer, I believe, and Laura Ingraham just completely having a mask off moment, just ripping the mask off and showing you who they truly are, if you didn't already know. And if you didn't know, well, now you do know, and congratulations to you. So first and foremost, this has been a growing conversation, particularly on the right, on the subject of unemployment benefits and just benefits in general of any kind. They don't think they should exist, basically. Point blank, period. Okay, they're not for those things, obviously. So he starts off by complaining about an $800 a week unemployment check, I think. I don't know. Who around the country is receiving that money? I want to know. And then he says that equates to $83,000 a year if, a person and their spouse is receiving that money. And then he says, he makes the point that shouldn't happen because the average median income for an American working family is $63,000 a year. So it's $20,000 less than what the other one would be that he outlined. And he says that as if it's a bad thing. Well, why does that have to be a bad thing for working families to make more money? I truly don't understand that. And then he goes on to say, what if we gave the benefits to the employers? Just completely tearing the mask off here. What if we gave the unemployment benefits that you're entitled to as an American citizen that pays taxes? What if we took that and gave it to the employers instead? That should make you go back to work, right? Because you're missing out on your money, right? You should go back to work. And this is the thing that they like to do. And Laura Ingraham, of course, goes on to say, why don't we just cut it out entirely? What the fuck? So this is their thing. So half of the states in the country have axed the unemployment insurance, the federal unemployment insurance. And so that officially runs out. I believe it's September the 6th, it officially runs out. But half of the states have already done it. And essentially what the play is, they say, okay, we're going to take away your unemployment insurance because we think that it's causing you not to go back to work. That's not the case whatsoever. That's been debunked 1,000 times over. The reason people don't want to go back to work or go back to work, that's, it's a farce. The entire argument is a farce. These people are offering really low wages and people are just surveying their options and they're like, I don't want to take a job that's paying $7.25, which is what the current minimum wage in this country is. And so they're looking elsewhere. Okay? And people are really taking time to survey their situation and figure things out. And I think that's an amazing thing for them if that's what they're currently doing. But the play is this. They want to take away that money and they want to back you into a corner and make you so desperate that you take a job no matter what the wage is. You don't care because you just want something. And it reminds me of when Donald Trump was in office and he would come out and he would grandstand and brag about his great economy that he created and all the jobs, right? And it was at a point where the Democrats didn't even know how to combat that nonsense. But what they didn't tell you is that the jobs that he created were a bunch of low wage paying jobs. Yeah. What they didn't tell you is that 51% of American workers make less than $30,000 a year. What they didn't tell you is that 71% of all American workers made less than $50,000 a year in the year 2019. That's what they don't tell you. And that's what the play is. They want to make you so desperate. And they go even further to make that point. Laura Ingraham goes on to make the point, hunger is a powerful thing. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? She says hunger is a powerful thing. Maybe if we put people in a position where they need a little something to eat, because you have to eat to live, maybe they go back to work. I don't know. Realize what they're saying here. And then he goes on to take this insane example of feeding military dogs and essentially equates a military dog, to a human being and says that, hey, a hungry dog is an obedient dog. So essentially what he's saying is if they take the money, the unemployment insurance and the benefits away from the American people, they can strong arm them into obedience so that they can take whatever low paying jobs that they want them to take. And so this supposed labor shortage can disappear. That's what they're insinuating, and it's so nasty, it's so vile, and they have no shame. How are you not ashamed to say those things? We're not causing people to be hungry. In fact, we are. We have at least 500,000, depending on what statistics you look at. And I mean, we were just on the brink of an eviction crisis, but it was paused momentarily. We'll be facing that issue again pretty soon. But at least 500,000 people in this country are homeless. People are currently starving. You're right, hunger is a powerful thing and people deal with it every single day. But you want to make it to where millions more deal with it. I mean, the arguments that they were making were absolutely insane. And then she goes on this rant about self-care. What's funny is she says she's talking down on quote unquote self-care when she herself practices self-care in some shape or form or fashion. I mean, everybody does. Everybody does things that, one would think would take care of themselves and provide subsistence and prosperity for themselves as individuals. She does self-care. She engages in self-care. So that is an incriminating argument that she's making. And she says that her mother worked from the age of 12, trying to justify the argument that the American people should somehow, quote unquote, get back to work. Well, I have news for you. I feel sorry for your mother. Working from the age of 12 to the day that you die doesn't sound like a very fulfilling life. I mean, truly. And I think that there needs to be a redefining of what work is and what it means, because what it means to these people, it doesn't mean the same to everybody else. And I think that's incredibly obvious.